This is Gemara Sanhedrin Daf Pei Beis, and we're holding on the bottom of Pei Aleph Amid Beis at the Mishnah. And just to keep ourselves in track, after discussing the Daled Misais Bezdin at length, well, actually, we could go all the way back after discussing what a Sanhedrin is. Then we got involved in the Daled Misais Bezdin, and we got involved in which one's more Chomer and which one's more Kal, and we weighted the two against each other. And then we got involved in what happens if someone got mixed with someone else. And then we ended off with what happens if there's someone who you can't actually kill, but he's Chayim Isa for a technicality, how he let him die in his own cell. Continues the Mishnah with the next category. The bottom of the Alpha and base. Hagoinev, is a katzva, which the Gemara will explain what that is. Or Vamakalel Bakoisem, someone who curses with Koisem is magic stuff, supernatural forces. Ramis, what's the halacha? Kanoyim Pagim Boy. Another level of Misa that is somewhat administered. It's not by Bezdin, by Kanoyim, people that take matters into their own hands. Bezdin can't actually paskin that they're Chayim Misa. But that is the halacha, as Rashi points out. They're Bnei Adam that are kshirim, that they want to avenge the honor of Hashem Yisbarach. And when they see such a thing, they take the matters into their own hands. And it's halacha l'Moshe Misinai. Continues the Mishnah, Kayin sheshimesh b'tama, a Kayin that serves in the Beis Hamikdash while he is tamei. Ein echav ha'kohanim, mavinois lebezdin. His brothers, the Kehanim, do not bring him to Bezdin. Meaning, they're not chayiv to bring him to Bezdin for Malkis. Rather, but rather, young Kehanim, remove him to the outside of the Chutz Lazar, Umavsien esmoichoi bigazirin. Pretty extreme. And they split open his skull with clubs. So not the regular Kehanim, but the young Kehanim, ages 13 to 20, they go and they beat him up. And the reason why this in particular is because we don't want someone to come tamei by killing this Kain. And finally, Zar Sheshimesh B'Mikdash, a Zar, a non-Kain who serves them Beis Hamikdash, Rabbi Kiva Aimer, B'chanek his chayiv, Chamaimrim B'dei Shamayim. Says the Gemara, talking about the first case, what was it? My kasva. Amar Rav Yehuda Kli Shares. It's referring to the Kli Shares, V'chenu Aimer, V'es Kasois, Ksois HaNosech. It's referring to the Kli Shares, that the different tubes that separated in the shulchan, the different lechem upon him, and that's what the word kasos is, and that is a case that is taken by someone, and that's when the Mishnah says that kanayim paigim by, and this is partially the Rishonim explain because it's a very valuable and intricate and difficult type of keli. Ve'echan remiza, where do we see in the Torah such a din? They should not come and look as the holy is inserted, lest they die. So what do we see? We see that there is a level of Vamesu, even though that's not the Pashib Shad of the Pasik. So Remez to the Kanayim able to taking matters in their own hands. Hamekalel ba'koisem. Says the Gemara, Tani Rav Yosef, what is this case of Mekalel ba'koisem? Yake koisem es koismai. Says the Gemara that he says, let the koisem, which is a supernatural force, which is referring to Avodah Zarah, hit as koismai, the one who endowed it with supernatural powers, referring to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Rabbana v'item Rabba bar Mari Amar Yakeu koisem lai ulekoinoi ulemaknoi. Let the koisem, the supernatural force, this Avodah Zarah, hit whom? Hit whomever he's trying to curse, as well as his creator, as well as his provider. So we see this is a form of Avodah Zarah. This is a form of creating these supernatural forces And the Mishnah says that these are cases of kanayim payim bay. And the third case is abayal arame, so by me name Rav Kahana me Rav. Rav Kahana asks of Rav as we turn over to Peibeis Amid Aleph. Loi paga bay. Let's say the kanayim did not actually kill this person. What's the halacha? Loi kipayim by kanayim mau. Anshe Rav legamre. Rav forgot the halacha. He didn't know the answer. Akru Rav Kahana bechelmei. They told Rav Kahana in a dream the following pasuk: Bogda Yehuda v'Toeva na'asasa b'Yisrael b'Yushalayim. Why? Ki chilel Yehuda kadesh Hashem shahayiv u'Baal bas kel nechar u'Baal bas kel nechar. Says the Gemara, or actually Baal bas el nechar, referring to an alien god. Asa Amar le Hachi Akranan. Rav Kahana afterwards came and said, this is what the pasuk that was read to me. He said the pasuk, and based on this pasuk, it jogged Rav's memory. And Adkrei Rav Legamri, Rav recalled, and he explained as following: Bog de Yehuda, what does that mean? Zuavod chavim. V'cheinu oimer kein b'kadatem bi beis Yisrael. Says the pasuk, you've acted in an act of boigade, treachery. Klal Yisrael, no Hashem, says Hashem. V'to'eva nasis b'Yisrael b'Yushalayim, and a to'eva abomination has been done. It's what? Zeh mishkav zachar. V'cheinu oimer, v'zachar lo tishkav mishkav ha'isha. To'eva here is a to'eva. Ki chilal Yehuda kadesh Hashem. Says the pasuk, Zuzayna. He's referring to a Zayna, even one who is a Yid. Ubal bas el nechar, and he was Baal, this foreign god, Baal akusis. It's referring to someone that is together with a kusis woman. And says the pasuk, Hashem ervainan. Says the pasuk, Hashem should cut off this man that did ve'oina. What do we learn out from this pasuk? If he's the Talmid Chacham, he will not have an heir, a son, who's going to be amongst the Chachamim. Who we skipped. One more time. Or an answer amongst the Talmidim. So what do we see from over here? We see that the punishment is that he won't have children if he's a Talmid Chacham that are Chachamim. And if he's a Kayin, he won't have children who are as well able to serve in the Avodah. Amar Rav Chia bar Avua klabal kusis. I know it's together the kusis kilim etchatein ba'avodas chavim. It says if he married an idol, d'chsevu bal bas al nechar v'chibas yesh loy lel nechar. What does that mean? Elazeh bal akusis. This is one who's together with a kusis woman, and by being together with her, there's an element that he's attached to her. He's attaching himself to the foreign nations. Therefore, it's as if Keilu, he's together with the idol itself. Continues the Gemara of Amar Rav Chia bar Avua. Says Rav Chia bar Avua, Kosov al Gulgolta shel Yakam. On the skull of Yoyakam, it was written, Zois v'oidacheres. This and another, this punishment you've already received, and there's another one waiting for you. Zekina de Rav Preda, the grandfather of Rav Preda, Rav Chia bar Avua, Ashkach ahu galgulta. He found a certain skull that was cast upon the gates of Yushalayim, and on the skull it was written, V'hadar Navuk Kavara, he buried it. V'hadar Navuk, and the skull broke through to the surface. Cover of Hadar Navuk happened again. Omar, he said, Hi Galgalta Shal Yoyakam, this must be the skull of Yoyakam. As the pasuk says about Yoyakam, that he shall be buried the burial of a donkey. Sochov v'hashlech me'hala l'shar Yushalayim, dragged and cast on the gates of Yushalayim. Amar Malko, Rav Chia said Yoyakim was a king. We can't embarrass him. So what did he do? So what he did was he took the skull, he wrapped it in silk, he put it in a box. Asoi devisu chazita. His wife came and saw the skull. Nofakt amra luhuli shabbatste. They went out and told the neighbors what she found. Amra lei. The neighbors said to Amra la, Hi disa kamaisihi. They said to her, Hi disa, this is the skull of your husband's first wife. Deloika minashila. He can't forget her. Shagarta letanura. So she went, she heated up the oven, v'klase, and she burnt the skull. Kiyasa, when Ruchia comes back, Amar, he said, I know this is what it says on the pasuk. This and another one. These are the two punishments that Melech Yoyakim is going to get. Number one, that his skull was cast into Yushalayim, and number two, that it's burnt by a fire. Continues the Gemara back to the topic of Abayal Akusis. Ki asa Rav Dimi Amar. Rav Dimi came, he said, Bezdin shel Chashmonai, Gazu Bezdin al Chashmonai, Bizman Chanukah. They made a Gzeira Abal Akusis Chayav Alam Misham Nashga. He's chayav for the sins of Nashga. Nashga is Nun is the Nida. Shin is a Shivcha. Gimel is a Goya. And Aleph is Ishes Ish. Ki asa Ravin Amar Misham Nashgaz. He changes the final Aleph to a Zayin, Nashgaz, the Zayin standing for Zaina. Avol Misham Ishos, and the Gemara explains, neither Shivcha Goya Zaina. Avol Misham Ishos, less Luhu. However, he's not Chayiv for Ishes Ish according to the second Shita. Why? Because these Kusins don't actually get married. Ve'edach. And the other Avdimi, what does he say? That the Chashmonayim punished him for that. The men would not make their wives hefker, and therefore there is a level that there is a form of ishus. Says Rav Chista, if someone comes to Bezdin and says, this is what happened, Hein Meirin Lai, which really is the premise of this whole halacha of Kanayim Paigim Bay, that it's not a psak halacha. It's Marnami, Amar Rav Rachana, Amar Rav Yechon Aboli Malech. Ein Meirin Lai. Someone asked me, no paskim Lai, Elashim Pireish Zimri. And Zimri, if Zimri had separated Vahargoy Pinchas, if Zimri had separated from Cosby, and then Pinchas killed him, Neragalav. Pinchas would have done the wrong thing. He would have been Chayim Misa. No afach Zimri v'argal Pinchas. If Zimri went and he killed Pinchas, Eina Ragalav, then Zimri would not have been Chayim Misa. Shari Raidif, who was trying to kill him. So we see the intricacy of the Kanayim Paigim Bay. It's a mamish. Only B'Shas Ma'isan says over the Gemara the story of Zimri and Cosby, the second medium-sized lion, V'Yemer Maishal Shaivdi Yisrael V'Gaimer. Halach Shivtei Shal Shimon Eitzel Zimri. The Shevet Halach Shivtei Shal Shimon Eitzel Zimri. The Shevet of Shimon, when Eitzel Zimri ben Salu Amru Lai, they said to him, Hey, Nadanin Dine Nefashais, the judging Dine Nefashais. Vata Yeshev Shaisik. Ma'aseh, what should I do? Amar, he got up, he kibitz Bezdin Elef Mi Yisrael. He got up and he gathered, Kibitz Esrim V'Arba Elef Mi Yisrael, 24,000 Yidin V'Halach Eitzel Cosby, a Midianite woman. Amar lo Ishmi Ali, Amar lo, she says, Bas Melech, I'm the daughter of a king. My father commanded me, I'm not listening to you guys. I'm only listening to the Gadol Moshe Rabbeinu Shu Amar La. Afu Nasi Shevet Hu. Amar La, they said to her, I lost my place, I apologize. Zimri said, Afu Nasi Shevet Hu. He is also a Shevet Lo Oid Ella Shu Gadol Mimenu, who is greater than him, Shu Sheni Labatin. Why? Because he's the top of Shevet Shimon, who's the second. Vushlish Labatem, and Moshe Rabbeinu is the third, because he's from Levi. Tavsa Babulurasa. At this point, Zibri grabbed Cosmi by her hair. V'yivia Eitzel Moshe brought her to Moshe Rabbeinu Amar Lai ben Amram Zu Asura Aimu Tares. So Cosby asks, what is the status of this Ben Amram bin Taimer Asura? You say she's Asur. As Yisra mi tir lecha. What about the daughter of Yisra who said that she is mutter? Of course, taunting Moshe Rabbeinu, who is married to the daughter of Yisra. At that moment, is Amimenu Halacha Moshe Rabbeinu forgot the halacha. It was hidden from him. The halacha, go kulam bebechi. All the people started crying. Vainu dilsev, and that is what the pasuk means. The first white line, vema boichim. Pesach hayal, they're crying at the entrance of the tent. Continues the pasuk. Al ma'iduk sev. Vayar Pinchas ben Elazar, Mara, what do you see? Amarav, Ra, Maisav in Iskar halacha. He saw what was going on and he remembered the halacha. Amar Lai, Pinchas said to Moshe, Achi. Pinchas said, Achi Abba, brother of my father, Achi Abba, loikach lemanati b'ritzcha me'arsina, did you not teach us the following when you came down from Arsina? Ha'abaya les akusis, kanayim baigim bai, Amar Lai, said Moshe Rabbeinu, Kraina de agrisa, says Moshe Rabbeinu, let the one who reads the letter, Ihu lehevi parakna, Vanka, let him be the agent. So Moshe Rabbeinu says to Pinchas, you read the letter, you remember the halacha, you could carry out what you're saying. Shmuel Amar, a second shot, Ra, what did Pinchas see? Shin chachama vein tvuna vein eitza neged Hashem. Pinchas saw there's no wisdom, counsel, understanding against the covenant of Hashem, and he understood Kol Makim Sheish Chil Hashem. Ein Cholkin Kavod L'Rav. It's true, Moshe Rabbeinu doesn't know what's going on, but there's a Chil Hashem happening. Rav Yitzchak Amar Rav Elazar Rosh Haba Malach Ve'ishchis Ba'am. You know what he saw? He saw the Malach HaMavis that came, and he saw destruction amongst the people, and he realized he had to do something. He takes his spear on the last line. We see from here, you don't bring the Kli Zayin, you don't bring the weaponry into the Beis Medrash. Shalav Shinana V'nicha Bon Koloi. Pinchas removed the tip of the spear and he put it into his garment. So how did Pinchas kill them? V'haya, and he went, as we turn over to Pei and Beis, Nishan V'alich Al Makoloi. He went and he looked like he was just holding a walking stick. Again, he removed the spear, and now it's just a stick. And Pinchas is walking with this stick. When he reached there, he says, Pinchas, where do you find that Levi is greater than Shimon? Amru. They said, Hanichalai. Shimon said, allow him in. They thought Pinchas as well is coming in to do his Aveira. Nichnas, Pinchas enters, Hitiroi Prushin as Adavar. When they saw him, everyone said, wow, even Pinchas, even the Prushim are saying this is mutter. They think that even Pinchas is going to be Baal with the Kusis. Says the Gemara, what happens next? Amar Rav Yechon Shisha Nisim Nasal Pinchas. There were 6 Nisim after Pinchas. Zimri Lifresh, number 1, that Zimri should have come out of Cosby not to be killed. But what happened? Zimri continues the Maisa Bia. Vecha, number 2, Shayla Daber V'loy Davar. Number 2, Zimri should have spoken out and cried out for help. He didn't say anything. Number 3, Vecha Shekiva Bizchusay Shalish. That Pinchas put the spear directly through I say Malcolm of the man and the female Zimri and Cosby while they were having Bia. Vechad, number 5, Shal Nishvatu Min Hareimach, that the corpses of Zimri and Cosby did not slip off, they remained on. So you see Pinchas holding Zimri and Cosby straight through. Vechad, number 6, Shabbat Malach Veikbia as Hamashkoif. The Malach came and opened up the doorway. So Pinchas was able to walk out holding it straight. The doorway had to raise up. Excuse me, that was 5. Vechel number 6. Shva Malach ve'ishchis. Bam. And so destruction amongst the people, distracting Shimon and allowing Pinchas to leave without Shimon the Shevet Shimon trying to kill Pinchas. Continues the Gemara. Pinchas came and put down the bodies in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Amar, he said, Lefanav Rebbeinu Shalaylam. Alleluia Yisrael. It's because of these 2 people that 24,000 Yidden Shaddai, Shenem Arvi Amesim and Magifa Arbaim Ve'esrim. Aleph on the first wide line, V'hainu d'chsev, and that is the meaning of the pasuk V'yamu Pinchas v'yipalel. And Pinchas got up and he prayed and he davened. Amar Rav Elazar v'yispalel lo nemer v'yipalel b'lam shekiv yachashas pliloisim koinai. We learn from here a type of tefillah that he made plilois. He argued with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bikshu malachei Hasharis l'dafchai. The malachei Hasharis came to push Pinchas away. They thought he wasn't talking nicely. Amar la'en, Hashem said to them, leave him. Kanai ben Kanaihu. He's a Kanai ben Kanai, a Zealot ben Zealot, like his great ancestor, Meshav Chema ben Meshav Chemahu. He brings and he calms down the wrath. His Chilu Shvatim Evazin Isai, the Shvatim, came to mock Pinchas. And they said, Reusim ben Puti Zeh Shapitim Avim Ayagolan Avodas Chavim, that his mother's father fat in knives for Avodah Zarah, talking about Yisrael, V'harag Nasi Shevit Yisrael. And yet, he went and he killed a Shevet, he killed Zimri. Ba'akasav Eichasu, the pasuk comes and says that genealogy is Pinchas ben Elazar ben Arai Nakayin, and he goes after Pinchas. Amar le'ekadosh Baruch Hu, le'maisha ektim lo'ishalayim. Be the first to give Pinchas Shalayim, l'chein therefore Amar, Ninois and Lois Brisi Shalayim. Baruch kapara zu shetek mechaperes v'ilechas la'ilam. This kapara should go forever. Continues the Gemara, Amar Rav Nachman, 10 lines down. The first one on line is le'ilam. Says Rav Nachman, Amar Rav, my dechsev at the beginning of pasuk, zar zir masnayim oityashu melech al yakam imai, an animal with rigorous loins, a male goat, a king. You can't rise up against Alin meos v'esim arba b'ilois. An animal who's so strong refers to Zimri, who was this Rasha, who had Bia 424 times, Baal Oisei Rasha Oisei Yom that day. Pinchas waited until Zimri's strength weakened. Pinchas did not know that Hashem was with him. Pinchas would have realized, of course, he would not have waited for such a moment. Another pshat, Masnita Tana, Shishim Achinase Kabeya Hamuzeris, 60 times Zimri was Cosby until his Beitzim became like an adult egg. V'yaisa Ka'aruga Malaya Mayim. Cosby was like a bed filled with water. She was so filled with all the zera from Zimri. Amar Rav Kahana, Moshiva Beis. And Cosby's seat was the size of a Beisa. Tani Rav Yosef. Kever Shalah Amma. The size of her womb was the size of a kever. She was wide open from all the incredible times that Zimri was Baal her. Amar Rav Sheishes, like Kizbi Shemarnim, was not Cosby. Ella Shevil Noi Bas Sur Shema Vlamnikr Shemai Kizbi Shekaza Be'avia. She deceived her father. Tavaracher Kizbi Shamar Lavia Kais Bi Am Zeh. Slaughter this nation through me. I knew the Amri Inchis, what people say, Bein Kani Larbani. This I knew the Amri Inchis, Bein Kani Larbani, Shavilni, my Baya. Between the reeds and put rushes of the pond, Bahade Klape, Bahade Kalfi, the Kani Shavilna, my Baya. What is Shavilna doing by the place of the reeds? She was there frequently to have Znos. Gifta Li'ima. She prostituted even with her mother over there. Amar Rav Yechanan, says Rav Yechanan, and with this we're going to conclude with the two dots, a long daf today. Chamisha Shemais Yislai, there were 5 names to Zimri. Zimri, Uben Salu, Vishaul, Ben Kananis, Shalumiel, Ben Suri, Shaddai. That's the final name. Zimri al Nase Kabea Muzaris, as we saw that the Beitzim came like a Bea Muzaris. Cosby, Ben Solu al Shisla Avoinish El Mishpachtoi, caused people to speak of the family with Averis. Shol al Shil Atzma Dvar Avera, he asked for Avera. Ben Akananis al Sha'asa Maisa Kanan, and finally Umash Shemai, Shlumiel Ben Suri Shaddai Shemai. His name was really Shumliel, the son of Zuri Shaddai. That was his name. the fascinating story of Zimri and Cosby, proving Pinchas that you can kanayim payim by. We'll pick it up from here. B'siyata dishmaya.